Right, hello everybody, welcome to the Adam Clery Football Channel. Happy international break. And I was fully emotionally prepared today to be doing a Manchester United managerial Saki video, but that didn't happen. So instead, I thought we would have a little look at Chelsea because I was seemingly a lot more impressed with them than all the commentators, pundits and in-studio analysts were on Sky this weekend. Because, as we all know, Enzo Maresca didn't get the shiny new centre-back he wanted this summer, and then was without his first, second, third and fourth choices through injury and suspension, and then lost his fifth and sixth choices during the match itself, and still managed to beat the reigning champions of England. And, you know, sorry if this offends, but I think that is good. Alright, so they were already at the bare bones Chelsea before they lost these two during the game. Maresca goes and answers the Gusto or Reece James question by starting them both, but with Gusto in the pivot and Reece James at right back, which was a bit of a shock. This, in turn, allowed Enzo Fernandez to push up and replace Cole Palmer in the 10, and it looked weird on paper, and it did have its problems in the game, but ultimately, this decision is what wins Chelsea the match. Now, we have already done the what is going wrong with Liverpool this season video, and the main thing we highlighted was that the lack of intense pressure from the forwards means that finding key creative players between their lines was, well, not easy, but certainly easier than it was last season. Liverpool want to press you high, but do not have the intensity or the coordination to do it right now. So it's a bit like wanting to have a really healthy diet and eat well, but instead, every time you go past the fridge, you just scoop the butter out with your hands, don't you? And you roll it all in your face and down your mouth. Now, either Arne Slot went and watched that video or just, I don't know, watches his own team every single week. You decide, because Liverpool's game plan here was to go man for man completely in the midfield, which is not a shit idea. In particular, Gravenberch was given the job of being really aggressive on Fernandez, stopping him turning when he received the ball, and Szoboszlai was doing the same with Caicedo. This is literally the first time Chelsea properly get the ball in this game, and you've got Caicedo tightly marked here. He can't receive it, so they instead go to Gusto, but McAllister gets right into the back of him, and just as it rolls through, you can see Gravenberch is taking his position entirely from where Fernandez is. And it was actually, to be totally fair, really effective, this. Like, if you look at the combined pass maps of both Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, Chelsea's two best progressors, you would argue, in that first half, you will note, if you take a little second, that there is not a single central pass going forward. So what Arne Slot had done was he's correctly identified a weakness in his own team, made a tweak to address it, and in the process, completely cut off all of Chelsea's central progression. That's good management. But the thing is, my friends, for every action, there is a reaction. And the cost of Liverpool doing this was that they opened up an entire other way that Chelsea could suddenly hurt them. And that involved Mo Salah. By giving Gravenberch the just sit on Enzo Fernandez job and pulling Szoboszlai out of the front line of pressure to do the same with Caicedo, you then need another body in that front line to help Isak press the centre-backs. And because Liverpool like Gakpo to be a little deeper so they can sort of shuffle over a bit, that means it is Mo Salah's job. Now, it is pretty straightforward for Isak to press the centre-backs because he plays in this area anyway. He can go out to whichever one he wants, but it's harder for Mo Salah because he's taking his starting position from wide on the right. And the complication comes because before he can jump to this defender here, he first has to make sure he isn't leaving Marc Cucurella completely open. So he always has to angle his run in such a way that he cuts off the pass behind him. There's a little moment here really early on where Chelsea have it at the back. Caicedo's dropped too deep for Szoboszlai to go with him, so he's sitting on Fernandez instead, and Salah realises he has to go to the man with the ball. As he does, he has a little check to see where Cucurella is first, curves his run to block the pass, and then pushes onto the centre-back. And that is, again, to be fair, very good. That's exactly what you want him to do. But Chelsea use that to their advantage and do the oldest trick in the book The little Roberto De Zerbi Brighton bounce pass. To knock it into Cucurella, they just have to go via Fernandes, and 1, 2, bang, you've played around Salah with relative ease. Now, Mo Salah is many wonderful things, but a high-energy defensive winger is not one of them. So there's never been any expectation from any manager he's had at Liverpool to be making lung-busting 30-yard recovery runs in these situations. You want him, especially at 33 now, to be conserving his energy for potentially winning you the game. So as a result, when Liverpool play a 4-2-3-1, if the fullback does escape Salah's attention, it's always been the job then of Ryan Gravenberch to cover across, and it's never really been a problem, right? But Chelsea in this game make it one. Nothing comes of this moment, but after he knocks the ball around the corner, Fernandes takes full advantage of the fact they've now moved Gravenberch out of the way to cover and gets into this space here. That should have been a warning. So just really quick recap here, right? Chelsea are aware that if they want to play through the very centre of the pitch, they have to manoeuvre Ryan Gravenberch out of that picture, which they are more than capable of doing. But also, if for some reason he doesn't go out of the picture, if he stays central to stop those passes, then Chelsea can end up with a 2v1 down that side. Just a couple of minutes after that other warning, Salah again tries to press while cutting off the pass to Cucurella, but Badiashile just dinks it over the top of him. Now this time, Gravenberch cannot get out there because he's got his hands down the back of Enzo Fernandez's shorts, which just completely leaves Connor Bradley in trouble. He's up against the left back and Alejandro Garnacho. So with both of these things in mind, would you like to see where both of Chelsea's goals come from? Yes, you would. First off, Caicedo giving us both a goal of the month contender and this soon-to-be immortal Van Dijk twerking meme, but wind it back and you will see all of this in action. Salah wants to close down here, but is looking at Cucurella and thinks better of it. Gravenberch is centrally positioned to stop those central passes and will not let Fernandes go, so unable to drag Salah out of the equation, Fernandes shows for a pass he knows he is not going to get. Szoboszlai is now the one who has to go to the ball, but does really well to keep a pass into Caicedo blocked off by his run. So, what do Chelsea do? Why, it's our old friend from 10 minutes ago, the bounce pass. It goes into Gusto, and now look, right? One, Liverpool need McAllister to somehow defend this entire area on his own. He is completely overloaded. And Cucurella has slipped behind Salah to give them another 2v1 down the left. Now, obviously, Caicedo fucking thunders it in, so it's kind of a moot point. But if he had instead elected to pass this, look at the wide angle. If he had just rolled it out to this side, I would argue Liverpool would have been in just as much trouble as they were with the shot. That was superbly well orchestrated. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? This was not a drubbing by any stretch of the imagination. Liverpool equalised and the game swung so wildly back and forth they could just as easily have won it. So how much credit can we actually give this game plan for the winning goal? Well, for me, Jeff, still quite a lot, and I'll show you why.
Cheers, Jeff.
First of all, I just want to heap even more praise on Moises Caicedo for a second here, because in the 95th minute, receiving this pass under heavy pressure, I think 999,999 out of a million footballers would just whomp this into the channel down the line. I certainly would. But obviously that doesn't really do anything for you. You just lose the ball, and Caicedo is better than that. So he hits a perfect, blind, reverse pass through two players because he knows, just like before, if Chelsea can move the ball quickly out to that left-hand side, they can get in behind Salah. Lavia as well does not take a moment to address the situation. He keeps it moving, and from here to here, within seconds, Chelsea are in that space down their left-hand side, and it's a 3v1. Like, I'll hold my hands up here. I did not appreciate that when I was watching it at the time, but when I went back, I could not believe how good, how ballsy, how important that pass from Caicedo was. He's the best midfielder in the league right now, for me. Like, it immediately forces Endo to push up. Gravenberch can't cover across because he's now at centre-back, and Chelsea have 3 players attacking this area that only Dominic Szoboszlai, not an actual defender, remember, can conceivably cover. Now, yes, obviously Liverpool do get back in, they do manage to reset a bit, but it's this idea of playing early into the space behind Salah that was evident from the very first minute that even allows the chance to be created in the first place. The through ball is absolutely perfect, the cross just kills the goalkeeper and the defenders, and it gets Chelsea a 3 points I genuinely think they really deserved. And just to really quickly throw a Liverpool slant on this goal for any Reds who for some reason sat through this whole thing, there are 3 moments in that winning goal that would boil your piss if you were a manager. First, Szoboszlai and Jones both get back into position here, but neither of them attempt to challenge Fernandes. Second, Gravenberch does initially pick up Cucurella when he gets into the box, but then passes him off to Endo, like you can see him pointing, but neither of them react quick enough to the pass. And finally, this. I said it on Twitter at the time, right? I do think maybe Andy Robertson was carrying a knock by this point, but even if you had one leg hanging off, this cannot be your body shape while you are defending, like at any point in the game, let alone in the last few minutes. He has got all the physical readiness there of someone who's just brought the big shop in from the car, and that is what gives Estevao the gap he needs to score. So yeah, overall, like an absolutely insane, mad game of football, but one I genuinely think when you look at the game plan and how it was executed across the match, that Chelsea really did deserve to win. I think, anyway. As ever, though, we're far more interested to know in what you think, so please do get it down in the comments below. And another reminder for you, we now have channel memberships here at ACFC. We've been doing a little live streams where we'll go through some other little things, and you can contribute and ask us some questions, and you join in, and it's all a nice, big, happy thing. So you can sign up for those with the link in the description, and just showing them off again. The ACFC kits. We had our first games as a team on Friday, everybody in the office, and we got to the semi-finals of a tournament, thank you very much for asking, which does make us losers, but good ones. You can get me across all the social medias at Adam Clery, C-L-E-R-Y. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's really good, I think, and I'll see you later. That's it. Bye.